Welcome, everyone. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Our first order of business is the approval of the minutes. Does anyone have any minutes they'd like removed from the schedule? I'll read them all off in order. Motion to approve the July 15th, 2013 regular meeting minutes, the August 5th, 2013 work session meeting minutes, the August 5th, 2013 regular meeting minutes, and the August 19th regular meeting minutes.
I'll move that motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Our next item is a proclamation honoring the 2013 Narragansett Town Beach Lifeguards. If you'd like to come to the podium. Mr. Cannon and his crew, Mr. Guadagno, welcome. This is Ms. Bonanno's motion. Would you like to read the proclamation? Or?
Go ahead, Mr. President. Mr. President, go ahead.
Welcome, everyone.
Thank you for having us.
Tonight we have a proclamation honoring the 2013 Narragansett Town Beach Lifeguards. Whereas the 2013 Narragansett Town Beach Lifeguards display the utmost professionalism and work tirelessly to provide public safety and assist the patrons at the beach. And the 2013 Narragansett Town Beach Lifeguards have had over 200 successful ocean assists, rescues, and first aid responses in 2013. And the 2013 Narragansett Town Beach Lifeguards successfully hosted and managed Ocean Safety of the Waterman Echo Challenge, a 3-mile open ocean paddle race in which Narragansett lifeguard Luca Spinazzola had a first-place finish. And the 2013 Narragansett Town Beach Lifeguards won their 5th consecutive Newport Invitational Lifeguard Tournament Championship, in which Narragansett lifeguard Dave Cannon was the MVP. Congratulations.
Thank you.
And the Narragansett Town Beach Lifeguards won their 24th consecutive State Lifeguard Tournament Championship, in which Narragansett lifeguard Luca Spinazzola was the tournament MVP. Now, therefore, all our citizens join with us in extending to the new 2013 Narragansett Town Beach Lifeguards our deep appreciation and our best wishes for continued success in all future endeavors. Thank you very much. Congratulations. If you'd like to say anything, please feel free.
I would just like to thank the Town Council, especially the Parks and Rec Director, Steve Wright. You guys have given us the tools to be able to actually keep everybody safe. So we keep having those. It's going to be, just knock on wood, it's going to be all good.
Great.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Good job.
Now move on to the open forum. Please just state your name and address upon approach to the podium. Professor Megermish.
Richard Vangermish, 55 Osceola. A reminder about our 125th Committee's events on October 6th, 2 p.m., the major scene from the opera, William Sprague and His Woman, and then the Sprague soliloquy will be performed. Susan's got tickets. I've got tickets with me after doing the last one at URI. I learned that you have to really work at selling tickets by getting tickets out to an opera. The other event at 7 p.m. is music and dancing from every decade of the history of Narragansett. And 8 to the Bar will perform. That is a lot easier. People are into dancing, not opera. But Kate Vivian is handling that at the Towers. And also, I saw in Woonsocket Saturday night, Woonsocket is also celebrating its 125th year history. There's a magnificent 40-foot Arc de Triomphe right in Main Street, which we really didn't do, even though our banner is much nicer than its banner. But perhaps the Town Council will express its congratulations to Woonsocket and get some sort of a dialogue going, because something must have been happening in 1888 to cause these two events.
Thank you. Mr. Brady.
The name is Patrick Brady, 156 Boston Neck Road, Narragansett. A couple of weeks ago, I wrote an article about the bike path and entities that I thought were trying to block its construction. Last week, James Carruthers, the executive director of the museum, said that I was making blatantly false statements. So I'd like to correct the record tonight. South County Museum objects to the nature trails through its property due to parking and the lack of restrooms, though it proposes no increased parking or restrooms. And they only tolerate the pedestrian path as long as vehicular access through the leasehold is not allowed. And there is no signage for the pedestrian path through the museum from Strathmore Street. South County Museum objects to the bike path anywhere through the farm or near its leasehold, claiming it will threaten its security and the character of the farm. One only needs to read the minutes of the May 6, 2010 Planning Board minutes to make it very clear that they object to the bike path anywhere within the farm. South County Museum invites the public to use its picnic areas. But the fact is, the 4 picnic areas that were given to the museum to maintain in 2000 have never been maintained. You cannot sit on them because they're all covered with moss. Next to the picnic area is a junk truck that has been there for the last 4 years with weeds growing out of it. The museum does not mean that they are inviting the public to use their facilities. The fact is, South County Museum wants only those interested in the museum to pass its doors. And that's a quote from William Bavona to DOT a month ago. The museum's objections and lack of maintenance is in violation of both its lease and the prime use of Conotchet Farm, which is outdoor recreation. The serious fact is that the museum did not renew its lease in 2010 as required and has been operating without a lease for 3.5 years, raising serious issues of liability. It is also a fact that Darrell Anderson, president of South County Museum, stated on May 6, 2010, that the museum is on extension 2, which will be coming to an end in 5 years, which would be 2015. That is a blatant false statement. They have no lease. Further, there is no clause in the expired leases keeping them in effect until new leases are agreed to. Somehow, the solicitor has determined just that. I challenge that opinion. And finally, I ask the council to place lease issue of museum on agenda for discussion and public comment, and further to require public presentation by the museum for a new lease under the public hearing process. I hope a lease is not granted to them behind closed doors. I hope this is a transparent issue and a new lease is discussed in public. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Ms. Eastham.
Hi, Shirley Eastham, 14 East Pond Road, Narragansett. Although these items are not officially part of the 125th celebration, there are 2 that you should know about. One is on October 6th, same day as Richard Vangamish has mentioned. There will be a road race and a road walk, partially to benefit the Historical Society. More information on that will be on our website soon, I hope. That will be done in memory of our late webmaster, Jim Lawrence. So we encourage everybody to come out for that. The other event, which I hope everybody comes out for, is our house tour. We have 8 major houses, 2 churches, mostly in the Pier area, and you'll be hearing a lot more about that in the near future. That is October 13th, the Sunday of Columbus Day weekend, from noon to 4 o'clock. And we'll be here talking about that probably at every town council meeting now from now till then. So put that on your calendar too. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Alba.
Alba, 24 Eagles Nest Terrace. I mentioned how Narragansett Pier got its name because of the pier. And I told you about building a pier to celebrate the 125th anniversary. You says, well, it costs a lot of money. Well, the beach makes quite a bit of money. And if we can just get that money from the beach and also try to tap Mr. Gilbane, who's made a bundle of money off Narragansett, we will be able to build that pier. And that will be quite a commemoration for the 125th anniversary of the town. And as far as the bike path, I guess it's not dead yet, but hopefully, like I said before, I'll live to see it completed. So, but what do you think about the idea of getting the money from the money that's made from the beach to pay for a pier, and also asking Gilbane if we would put in the balance of the money?
It's a possibility.
Yeah.
Anyone have any other thoughts on the issue?
Actually, he made a lot of money there. That it's supposed to have been there like a mystic village, so he said. But as we all know, it's nowhere near like a mystic village. This will be some way for him to redeem himself. Thank you.
Thank you. Looks like at this point we'll move on to the consent agenda. I believe we remove item 4.
Hold it and vote separate.
Any further items? Motion to approve. Sorry.
Anything else to be removed from number 8?
Move number 8 as well. A motion to approve the consent agenda, items 1, 2, 5, 6, 7, 9, and 10.
I'll move that motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Move on to number 4 from the consent agenda, a motion to approve a Class F alcoholic beverage license for the Wildlife Rehabilitation Association of Rhode Island on September 28th, 2013, subject to state and local regulations.
So moved. Second.
Ms. Irons or Mr. Carbell? Welcome.
My name is Chi Chan. I'm the veterinarian that work with the Wildlife Rehabilitation Association of Rhode Island. I want to apologize that I filled the wrong form previously, and it's the F1 permit that we will need for that night.
Okay.
Well, there's confusion.
So, yeah, because it says F1, the license application. I'm
Right, but there's
confused.
also confusion because there's a license at the Village Inn.
There will be vendors donating the alcohol, so that it's not provided by Village Inn.
Do they need an extra license if there's already alcohol being served there?
Well, it appears that the Village Inn is also going to be there selling alcohol?
No, that they will not be there selling alcohol, that they will be there providing catering food.
Okay, because this email says that they were going to have a cash bar set up. It's in one of the theaters?
It's in that building.
Right, but this email indicates it's going to be in one of the theater, like in the theater building. I guess there's things you can do in the theater now? Not in the actual hotel?
Not in the actual hotel. It's in the theater building. There's actually a couple rooms in there plus the theater.
Okay,
So was that where the shore break was years ago?
that's what I'm wondering,
Yeah,
yeah. So
yeah.
does the license for the hotel extend to,
Yes.
that extends to the theater already? So there's no cash bar by the theater?
No. So
So should they just amend to F1, or does she reapply for
It
next?
says F1 though.
I would reapply for the next meeting, just because it was posted on the Secretary of State's website as an F, I'm assuming.
Oh.
It doesn't
This one, okay.
slow
sorry?
it down, there's still time. I would think it would reapply as an F1 and put it on for the next meeting. There's still time, I think the event is on September 28th.
Is it just because she checked the wrong thing on the top? Because if it's just that and we agree with it, I mean, it just seems like a clerical error. She meant F1, the license, instead of the top, right? I mean, that's what I
Yes.
see. So I would, if it's fine, and we just note that she wanted the F1 and just, I don't know, amend
Yeah,
the
save
form. It's just a form error, I think.
And
Right,
I'm
save
really
some
sorry
time.
that I checked the wrong box.
As
Yeah,
long as there's
we'll put
nothing
that
else
on the
being
record.
sold there. I mean, the email from Terry talks about that the Village Inn was setting up a cash bar also, which really muddies the water if you're going to have a bunch of different licenses going for the same event. But if they're not selling anything, if it's just going to be this organization that's doing the alcohol, yeah, I mean, there's not a problem with amending. It's on the consent agenda, so.
Why don't we approve it subject to an email or notification that that in fact isn't going to happen?
Right, because I don't know, that came from Terry speaking with,
Just in the abundance
Yeah,
of caution, just approve it subject to confirmation
in
that that
case.
is in fact not going to happen.
Sounds good.
and the correct application, and I'm assuming the correct check because it's a different amount for an F and an F1.
Can you send me an email, Doctor,
Regarding that they
saying you're
won't
not going to sell the beer or wine? with the-
No, that the
That-
Village Inn is not
Village
going
Inn
to be,
is-
not going to be selling alcohol.
Okay,
At your event.
at the event, right.
Yes, they could be in the hotel with their bar open, but at this event, they will not be supplying alcohol.
So I'll make that motion with all those stipulations and corrections.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Congratulations. Number 8, a motion to approve the 4-week rental of a Bobcat compact track loader from United Rentals, Inc. for the Public Works Department in the amount of $3,184.51.
I'll move that motion.
Second.
Mr. McLaughlin?
Mr. Manager, could you explain that to me, please? That expenditure?
The loader that we currently have, the Bobcat that we have, does not have this type of equipment, and as I recall, this is needed for particular drainage work we're doing, and the track loader, and we are using it for a very short period of time for the drainage work, and we're going to be doing the work with our town crews, but we need to rent this piece of equipment while we're using it.
Is this the same piece of equipment that was proposed in the budget that we rejected?
Yes, we're just renting it.
So we need this equipment to move sand, or is it to grind the stumps? Why do we need this particular machine? Because we already have a Bobcat.
The primary determinant on renting this machine is the need for a compact tract machine to remove sand from the Edgewater sand filter basin and replace the sand with clean sand. It's a situation where if you tried to do it with a wheeled machine like our current Bobcat, you'd end up making a big mess and possibly damage the pipes that are underneath the sand filter. So you need the high flotation machine with the wide tracks on it. And then secondly, this particular unit that we're renting has high flow hydraulics, which are suitable for use with our attachments for grinding stumps and doing pavement grinding. We're proposing to rent it for the 1-month period, complete the Edgewater sand filter, and spend the rest of the rental period trying to catch up on stump grinding the jobs have been accumulating ever since right before Tropical Storm Irene. We have a lot of stumps that need to be ground out and then road shoulders repaired.
You didn't have any other piece of equipment to grind stumps prior to this? I mean, didn't you have another machine to do that?
We do not have a machine which is capable of powering the hydraulics on our stump grinder. So
So how did you operate the stump grinder before?
We used to do it with the existing Bobcat, but it's an attachment that requires enough hydraulic flow. The age of our Bobcat, it doesn't have enough stuff to turn the stump grinder at a speed where you can be productive. It's just not appropriate for that anymore. And a high-flow hydraulics machine like the one we're renting would be much more efficient and productive in doing that work.
The other part of the thing, I noticed that there's a $125 transportation fee to and from the site.
No, to and from United Rental. So getting it down to us.
To you, okay. Why are we paying $125 to transport that each way?
Actually, I don't believe we're paying a transportation fee.
Oh, I thought
We will
were.
probably pick it up.
Thought that was part of the price, $125 each way, delivery charge.
Yeah. We'll probably pick it up on our own trailer. So we wouldn't end up paying that portion of the quote.
It's helpful, but, okay, thank you.
Anyone else? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Motion
Did you
carries.
say opposed?
Opposed?
Nay.
Motion carries 4-1. Moving on to new business. Number 11, a motion to approve the proposed employment contract and appoint Pamela Nolan, Town Manager for the Town of Narragansett.
I'll move that motion.
Second.
Well, I guess by way of explanation, I think this motion is a result of a number of months of work on behalf of the council. After reviewing over 50 resumes, working together this summer, we narrowed the list down to approximately 8 candidates. After conducting those 8 interviews over the course of 3 nights, we narrowed that list to 3 candidates. We then sat down with those 3 candidates for a second round of interviews in early August. In some sense, considering the public input we had in a number of issues over the course of the past 9 months, it was sort of strange to do that behind closed doors, as Mr. Mannix and Ms. Bonanno mentioned in the past. But considering it was a personnel issue, it was the most prudent way to do it. After collaboration, discussion of the qualities of 3 excellent candidates, we as a council decided to offer the position of town manager to Ms. Nolan. Ms. Nolan comes from New York and has made her mark in municipal government in towns across New England. She's been a town manager in Westerly, Rhode Island, Plymouth, Massachusetts, Truro, Massachusetts, and most recently and currently in Seekonk, Massachusetts. She has dealt with the issues facing coastal communities for many years and has handled financial crises and natural disasters. In a sense, I hope and we hope that her experience has uniquely prepared her for the town manager position in Narragansett. In terms of a few housekeeping items, assuming the vote goes well for us and Ms. Nolan tonight, we think that Ms. Nolan is looking forward to living in Narragansett, and we hope she starts sometime in early October. No one said that the town manager job in Narragansett is an easy task, but Ms. Nolan is willing to step forward, and I personally hope she enjoys a long, successful tenure. If anyone else would like to speak, please welcome you to say a few words.
I just wanted to thank my colleagues for going through this process and note that Pam had been willing to have her name be put out in the public. So, when we went through it, but some of the more candidates in the final round did not want that. So that's why it was not public, even though, as you know, some of us advocated for that. But in the end, we all, I think, came and found some qualities in Pam that we thought historically in her past tenure were the qualities that we all liked and thought were good for the town, and we're looking forward to a good tenure with her.
Anybody else? No, I'm thrilled. You know, I feel very much the same as the people up here. It was a great process, and happy to interview the candidates, and we felt that this particular candidate had the qualities that we were looking for here in Narragansett, and felt really comfortable about what she has to offer. So I wish her the best and look forward to her work here in Narragansett, and love that she's going to be a part of the community.
And I just want to also thank Ms. Bonanno, Mr. Mannix, Mr. McLaughlin, and Ms. Agopian for all their hard work this summer. And also Susan Fairhurst, the HR director here in Narragansett. She helped us with the process, as did Mr. McSally. It's not often that all 5 of us agree on something, so in a sense, this is a momentous occasion for a number of reasons. Hopefully, with this, we not only move forward as a council, but as a town. So, Ms. Nolan, I'd like to officially welcome you to Narragansett, and please invite you to say a few words if you'd like to.
Want to vote?
No, well, no, I think you should talk before the discussion. Yeah.
I said the same thing, Glenna.
First of all, I'd like to say thank you so much. It's a real thrill to be named town manager in Narragansett, and I can't tell you how thrilled I am to come. I really am. I do feel that I have the background, the experience, the years in this profession to do well here, to be an experienced leader with integrity. I think that that's important, to lead with integrity. I look forward to working with everybody here. I will live in this community, and I've already gone quite a ways towards finding a place, so I'm pretty thrilled about that too. And I look forward to starting and meeting everybody and having a very fruitful tenure here, and I hope a long one. And thank you so much. It's humbling, really, to be selected. And I know I had very good competition. The process was very demanding, and it was very thorough. And your police certainly did a wonderful background check on me. And, you know, I'm just delighted to be here, and to have all of your votes means so much to me. So that's the way to start. As I said at one time, during one of the times we were interviewing, it means a lot. And I look forward to serving you with honesty, integrity, and truly an open door policy. And I hope that the community will realize this soon, that I do keep an open door, and that I welcome their comments, their problems, whatever we can do for you. We can't always please everybody, but we can certainly take it seriously and try to work towards resolution, which I promise you we will do. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Any further discussion? All in favor of the motion to approve the proposed employment contract and appoint Pamela Nolan, town manager for the town of Narragansett?
Aye.
Aye. Ms. Nolan, congratulations. Yeah, we'll take a short break to welcome Ms. Nolan and say hello. Welcome back, everyone. We'll move on to the public hearing. A public hearing in the application for a transfer of a Class BV liquor license from 33 State Street, the right turn to Amy Mason, Hankstown South LLC. Would someone like to make a motion to open the public hearing?
I'll make that motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Welcome.
Thank you, Mr. President, honorable members of the Narragansett Town Council. My name is Attorney K. Joseph Shikachi, and I represent the applicant, Amy Mason, tonight, Hankstown South. We are respectfully requesting a transfer of the liquor license. My client has worked hard, pending this approval, to make a lifetime investment and open up an establishment here in the fine town of Narragansett. She is not only the owner, she's the cook, she's the bartender. She's absolutely committed to this. I believe the application's before you. She has a copy of the menu. All of her employees are tip certified. She has 2 inspections with the state scheduled for Thursday morning. We would ask if this honorable council felt compelled to grant it, subject to those state approvals. And if those approvals come back favorable, she's committed to open up the establishment on Friday. I explained to her not many people open up an establishment in Narragansett after Labor Day, but she is committed long-term to become a productive member of your fine community. She's here. I have a copy of the lease if there's any questions. Also, the current owners of the liquor license are here as well if there are any questions. I'd be happy to do my best to answer any questions. I believe you also should have a copy of the proposed menu as part of the application.
We do.
I think we do.
Yeah.
Thank you.
At the bottom.
Any questions from the council? Well, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Someone like to make a motion to close the public hearing?
I'll make that motion.
Oh, any public comment? For or against? All right, make a motion. Would someone like to make a motion to close the public hearing?
I'll make that motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
And moving on to the motion itself. Welcome.
We got to approve it.
I'm sorry?
Can we just close the hearing? We're going to make,
So a motion to approve the transfer of the Class BV liquor license from 33 State Street, the right turn to Amy Mason, Hankstown South LLC. Someone can make that motion.
I'll move that motion.
Second.
Any further discussion?
So
All
we're
in
going to
favor?
do it with the same restrictions that were already there?
I think so.
That's fine.
Makes sense? You
That
understand
okay?
that, right? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries 5-0. Congratulations.
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 He wants to say something.
Regarding what, sir? Oh, sure.
We like those. Come on up.
Sorry. Yeah, thank you. I'm Frank Lownton. I'd like to thank the town, especially Ed Irons and Mark and that. This, as most of you know, it's been going on for quite a while. I think it was 2 o'clock today by the time we finally settled with the state. And I know it's been a long ordeal, and your patience, and thank you very much. And if I can, I would suggest to the town too, only because we had to pay them the back taxes. I would hope the town goes after their 12.5% of that tax money, because technically that should be the town's money on the food and beverage that goes back to the town. So I hope somebody makes a note of that and the town gets some of that. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Number 12, a motion to approve the purchase of 5 additional new Motorola 800 MHz mobile radios and accessories for the Public Works Department from Motorola Solutions in a total amount of $12,365.
I'll move that motion.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
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 Motion carries 5-0. Number 13, a motion to approve the proposal for professional engineering services to complete preliminary designs for stormwater BMPs for Indian Trail and Metatuxet 3 and 4 catchments under South and North River Drive with Fuss and O'Neill in the amount of $31,689, and to authorize the interim town manager to sign the authorization to proceed.
So move.
Second.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Motion carries 5-0. Number 14, a motion to approve the request from the Parks and Recreation Department to close the pool at the Clark Road Camp permanently by removing the fiberglass liner and filling the concrete pool space with processed gravel.
I'll move that motion.
Second.
Quick
Discussion?
question. So is there a cost associated with this, the closing?
Yeah, because you have to fill it. right
Yes,
up.
there is. The estimated cost for materials is, I'm sorry, Steve, you're going to have to come in.
Good evening. I don't have an estimated cost yet because I want to be able to move forward with this, and if you give approval tonight, then I will get the estimate for the gravel. We're going to do it in-house. We will do all the work in-house. So it's just the cost of the gravel.
But it's not a huge dollar amount.
No, it's not a huge dollar amount. It should not be.
We're not putting it out to bid, we're doing it in-house, it's just the
Yes.
cost of
Yep.
materials, got it.
Similar to what we did with the demolition of that one cottage down in Middlebridge, where it was done in-house. This will
Okay.
be done in-house.
Yep.
And the big issue is eliminating a safety hazard right now.
Understand.
That was part of my question, who was going to do the work?
Yeah, the Parks Department will do
Parks
that.
Department's
Yep.
going to do it?
Yep.
You just remove the liner and you're going to fill it in with gravel? Is that what's going to happen there?
Yeah, and jackhammer, once we get to the liner removed, we'll jackhammer a couple holes in the concrete because we want it to drain properly. That's one of the big
Yep.
issues right now. It's holding water. It's an attractive nuisance. I'm really concerned it's been sitting there for 2 years. Even though it does have a fence around it, it's just, I hate throwing good money.
It has been vacant for 2 years, right?
That's correct, yep.
And it's, when we purchased the thing initially, and I don't want to raise skeletons here at all, but it was leaking when we purchased it. Wasn't that correct? Or is there anybody that knows that here? No, probably not. Well, it doesn't matter, but just for the record, we spent $289,000 on that project, which in my opinion, was a total waste of taxpayers' money. On working on a pool that was built in 1970 and had a crack leak. It was leaking when we bought it. And then we just kept pumping money, and it was like just taking taxpayers' dollars and throwing it into that pit. And I'm very happy to hear that we're now finally get smart enough to fill it up with gravel. Thank you very much.
Okay.
Thank you, Mr. Wright. Any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries 5-0. Number 15, a motion to read, pass, and accept as a first reading an ordinance, an amendment of Chapter 46, Miscellaneous Offenses, Article 1, in general, Section 46-9 of the Code of Ordinances of the Town of Narragansett entitled Smoking and Use of Tobacco Products Prohibited during youth events held at town athletic facilities and recreational facilities and other designated public places.
I'll move that motion.
Second.
So this, I just want to say, this came up a couple of years ago, and it was kind of a non-issue on the beach, and, over time, it certainly is something as everybody's trying to be healthy and be aware of their surroundings, so I completely support it, and I know Nancy Devaney, her organization sent the council an email in support of it, and so, on the beach, we don't see a lot of smokers anymore anyway, because people are trying to stay healthy, but certainly, I can support this, and glad to see it on the agenda, and I hope it passes.
And this was put on the calendar at a request of Ms. Shabshalowitz, another of her initiatives. So, Ms. Shabshalowitz would like to speak. I see your American flags moving onto your shirt.
Yes. Never give up on democracy, no matter how challenging it can be. Karen Shabshalowitz, Wanda Street, Narragansett. I'm very pleased that you're considering this. My 10-year-old granddaughter came up from South Carolina and was very upset to find smokers again at the beach. It seems that no matter where we sit near a smoker. And there is asthma running in the family, and for an asthmatic, smelling smoke can trigger an attack. And we all know, as Susan mentioned, it's much better for your health if you do not smoke. And when I think of Narragansett Beach, I think of the fresh air and the ocean and the breeze and away from the city smog. So it certainly, to me, is very appropriate health-wise not to have smoking on the beach. That's my main concern, is how this affects people's health. And it has a secondary effect on other people. So it's not only the smoker who's taking health risks, but the smoke travels and is breathed in and is, very repulsive to someone that doesn't smoke. So I really appreciate you considering this, and I hope it passes. Thank you.
Thank you.
And I just want to mention before we vote on it that presently it had been voluntary, and the state has moved in to the direction of prohibiting it, correct? I think they
Yes.
kind of went, yes. So it would be in line with the state beach as well.
Ms. Rogers?
Hi. Meg Rogers, 68 Earls Court. I understand why Mrs. Shabshelowitz has placed this on the agenda, and I'm really happy she did, because I hope it opens up a larger question of how we make public policy in Narragansett. So there's lots of ordinances on our books, and today I had a very lengthy conversation with Lieutenant Pelopita of the Narragansett Police Department, and I asked him how often we enforce many of the other ordinances on our books that we have signs up around town saying, don't do this, don't litter, don't curb your dog in the sidewalks, because yesterday they were absolutely abhorrent. And he said less than a handful, generally, ballpark. So this begs the question, is it incumbent upon the citizens to call the police to enforce these ordinances? And I wonder, since you placed this on the agenda tonight, what conversations you've had with the police who will be enforcing these ordinances, and what plan do you have in place for enforcement? Because if we're going to make public policy based on someone's being offended, well, there's lots of things that I'm offended by. I mean, I often visit Hazard Ave, Newton Ave, Black Point with my trash bags, because there's all kinds of rolling papers down there, because some of our young people are, taking the little cigarettes and putting marijuana in them. They're tossing their condoms away, and my nephew picked one up this summer. Yep, a used condom down at Hazard Ave. They were all over the place. There's all kinds of things that I'm offended by, but I don't know how the police are going to enforce this. So I'd just like to know what your plan is, and have you consulted with the police? Thank you.
If I could just explain to the council, the enforcement strategy that will be used on this is that, first of all, as they do with the voluntary policy, the signs will be changed at the beach to indicate that it's a mandatory no smoking. Secondly, the beach staff will issue reminders both over the speaker system as they do with the voluntary system, but now it'll be mandatory. Third, as with many laws, it is not going to be our primary mission to enforce this policy. Staff at the beach will encourage people to comply with the law. If somebody was to choose to not to comply with the law, and the staff felt it was an issue, just with other issues on the beach, they may notify the police, and then the police will come down. The police are not going to be patrolling the beach. The police, the CSOs are not going to be deputized to enforce this policy. This will be the only people who will be able to issue citations for this are the police department, but it is going to be reactive on the police department's part in being called in by the beach staff if we have people who are not complying. So we have gone over the strategy with both the police and Parks Department staff.
Thank you, Mr. Corbell. Any further discussion?
Karen and I have talked about this. So first of all, this is not just the beach though, right? We're dealing with, so we at the Washington, the Raiders games and stuff, those, you can smoke at those right now?
Seems like it.
Okay.
No, no. If it's a scheduled youth activity, you cannot smoke.
So then what are we adding here then?
What we are adding is it's prohibited at all times at the town beach. Right now, if there's not a scheduled youth activity at the beach, you are permitted to smoke. With this, you will not be permitted to smoke at the town beach at any time.
So then where are the people who smoke going to go to smoke if they want to smoke?
Off the beach.
Right, but I mean...
They presently leave and smoke in the parking lot, far away from all the blanket people, so I have seen in my observation, not that I'm there that much, but they leave the beach and they go in a designated area, far away from the people. That's what...
Yeah, I mean, it's in some ways, it's not any different from town hall. You're not allowed to smoke in town hall. We do have employees who smoke. They have to get more than 50 feet from the building, and that would be our expectations of the beach.
Same as schools, too.
Right, but the beach is an open area. I mean, so when people came to me, Karen came to me and others, and I did ask Steve about it when, and about the enforcement piece of it, and I just have concerns about the enforcement piece of it. But you know, especially if voluntarily a lot of people aren't doing it, so. But I know it's popular to ban smoking. But I think that it's not an illegal activity, so I kind of struggle with it to add another regulation. But
any further discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Nay.
no.
3 to 2, the motion carries. Number 17, a motion to schedule a work session in October to discuss the timeline for various bond requests for town capital projects. The suggested date is October 7, 2013 at 6:30 p.m.
So move.
Second.
Mr. Cabell?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry about that. Can we just, sorry about that. Any discussion on the date and time?
What was the date?
October 7th, 2013, 6:30 p.m. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Motion carries 5-0. And moving back to 16, I apologize. A motion to reappoint Mary Beth Arnold and John Miller to the Towers Committee for 2-year terms that will expire on 8/1/2015.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Any discussion?
Both these people do a great job on the
Yes.
Towers Committee, so I know we don't always talk about the people I serve on the committee. So John, I see he's out there, so thank you, and Mary Beth also. Thanks you to her.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries 5-0, and that concludes the meeting. Motion to adjourn?
I'll make that motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries 5-0. Have a good night.